It's our privilege again to bring on Thoughts Roundup. I'll finally get that down, I think. Again, Brother Single, our mountain climber. That's fascinating about climbing those mountains. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
I don't think I could ever do that. I don't think I could ever do that.
Well, I didn't think I could either, but I did it. I did it, summited, so.
Yeah, well, and a lot of folks have enjoyed hearing you talk about it, because mountain climbing is not something that just everybody does.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I was here and we spoke of the endeavor, you mentioned, and it's something that I was shocked about, you had to prepare for it. I thought you just...
No, you just don't show up, and
Well,
it's quite an endeavor to prepare for. That's for sure.
well, I had been wanting us to get back together, and several have mentioned that they would enjoy hearing you tell us just the steps that you took to, if you would, you just go ahead and take your freedom and liberty,
Okay.
and just tell us about that.
Well, I hired a guide service as RMI Guide Services, Rainier Mountaineering Incorporated. It was started by a guy by the name of, I think his name was Peter Whitaker. It's one of the oldest guide services on Mount Rainier, and they guide all over the world at this point, even on Everest. So I hired them, and with that, they sent a packet of information that told me, basically what I needed to be doing to be able to make it up the mountain. And so it was pretty extensive as far as cardiovascular, where you need to be, and just your core fitness, how you needed to prepare. So I took that package, gave it to a man in the church here who is a fitness trainer.
Oh.
And he managed a place here locally, and I said, I need you to keep me and hold me accountable to make sure that I'm able to make it up the top of this mountain. So he took that package and broke it down into what we could do in a gym setting, but obviously that doesn't get it all. So you gotta do some stuff outside. So he just broke it down, made sure that I was spending so much time cardiovascular and working on basically the core of your body. And then for the last 16 weeks before I actually went and did the climb, I did what we call mimic the climb. So the climb itself that I was on, it was considered a 4-day climb. So the first day is basically equipment check and going through all that.
Yeah.
Second day is going out and doing a lot of like ropes training and crevasse rescue training there on the mountain. But the actual climb itself and descent consist of basically 2 days. And so what you're doing in those 16 days is you are trying to mimic exactly that mountain climb.
What it's going to take.
Absolutely. So what happened was there's a place, we don't have mountains in Indiana. We have a few hills, that's about it. So I went down every Monday and Tuesday and to a little state park that we have, southern Indiana. It's about an hour from here. It's called Clifty Falls State Park. And they have one trail, Trail 5, which has about an 840 feet of elevation change.
Oh,
And it's kind of a rocky strewn trail
yeah.
down to a little stream. You go through it, and basically it's the same thing up the other side. And so I had my backpack that I was going to take up. You have to be able to carry 50 pounds of material on the actual climb.
Come on.
No, 50 pounds. That load is a little bit lightened once you leave base camp or Camp Muir at 10,500, down to about 25 pounds, because you can leave some of it at the camp while you're making the ascent. But for training purposes, they needed you with 50 pounds to make sure that you're going to be able to do it. So I took my backpack and put 50 pounds of sugar. 50 pounds of sugar. I had two great big old 20-pound bags and then a 10-pound bag of sugar. And, you know, it was hot. June, July, you know, May, June, July.
Makes me tired just to hear it.
It was quite a deal. So I would go down on Monday, and I would spend about 8 hours of my time. And all I would do, I would try to eat like I was supposed to be going to eat on the mountain. No more, no less. Drink about the same amount as well. So I had liquid with me as well as the 50 pounds of sugar. I didn't start with 50 pounds, I'll tell you. I led up to that.
You graduated up?
I started with 20, that was enough, and then added another 10, and gradually went up to the 50 pounds.
When you graduated up, did it get to seeming like the same weight, or did it always seem heavier?
It always seemed heavy. It obviously your stamina is building, your endurance, and so you're building, and you got to remember that on that mountain, the descent is as important, if not more important, as the ascent.
I remember you saying that was...
More people are injured on their way down than they are on their way up. And so you had to carry it both ways, because your muscles, if you're going up or going down the hill, you're using a different set of muscles. And so it was quite the feat. And then on Tuesday, I would come home, drive back home, go back down on Tuesday, and I would do that very same thing. Started about 10 hours on Tuesday and work my way up to 12 hours, because that's kind of the time frame that they tell you that you will actually be on the mountain for that second day. You got to go ahead and make your ascent, and then you got to come all the way back down to Paradise, what they call Paradise there in Washington. So it was quite a deal.
I thought about that buckwheat, that little old, I think it was one of the little cartoon. Every time he get in trouble, he say, "I think my baby brother needs me." That's what I do. Boy, I wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, at that age, I know I wouldn't have it now, but I wouldn't have it. You had to want to climb a mountain.
I wanted to climb a mountain. I had made up my mind that I was going to climb that mountain. It took me several years to get around to doing it, but I actually was just shy of my 51st birthday. I was 50 years of age, and I was within a month of my 51st birthday.
Do you have any pictures of climbing that mountain?
I do.
Well, we need to one day. I didn't think about that.
I actually have let me just jump over here real quick, grab this little book. I don't know.
Yeah, now I remember that little book.
Had a little book here.
People called me and wanted that book.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I told them I thought it was just something you had made up.
I did. It's just a pictorial account of.
Can you hold it up and they might see it?
Well, this is me on the top of the crater. down in the crater because it's an active volcano. But this is
What was you doing in an active volcano?
Well,
What were you thinking?
my wife was asking that same question, so she asked that question several times and questioned my sanity. But
Was there any other picture maybe it'd be good to
oh,
show
I don't. I mean, there's a
show
lot
the
of.
people?
This is my team of climbers. I don't know if they can see it there on the back. This is the mountain
Pretty
itself.
dark, yeah.
Kind of on just some pictures of
Yeah.
the mountain itself. But
I think my baby brother needs me. That's it.
there's just so many pictures. One of the most memorable times of the entire climb was going across a crevasse, and this is several pictures of going across that crevasse. I don't know if you probably won't be able to see it,
Probably
but we went across it the first time on the way up, and it was a good 300-400 feet of straight down, and it was a ladder with some 2x6s strapped to it. And that's
on your training.
no, this wasn't on my training. This was on the actual climb itself. So
See, I missed it.
yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you think that you ought to tell them that happened, or that you had to carry, or anything?
Well, obviously, the whole training part of it, everything you take up the mountain's coming off the mountain. So that just it was it's just a deal. I mean, if you climb that mountain,
I think about all I would want to take would be a quarter pounder with cheese. The meat well done.
There wasn't any quarter pounders with cheese. There was a lot of energy, a lot of chocolate, a lot of trail mix, that sort of thing. Where I expended a lot of calories that day.
When you come back home and everything, did you have a feeling of needing to keep up that exercise somewhat, or not?
No, as a matter of fact, I pretty much quit the exercise.
You don't even like sugar no more.
I was like, I like sugar, but I don't like the exercise, as you can tell. I picked up a few extra pounds.
In other words, you put that sugar in your coffee or something, you don't carry it on your back no more.
No, I don't carry it on my back, that's for sure.
Well,
yeah. So, yeah, it was quite an experience. I'm glad that I did it. But there was a lot of training involved, a lot of training. For me, it was about 17 months, because when I first went out, and I hadn't researched it, it was my main problem. But when I first went out and had made up my mind I was going to do it, was in 2012. I just finished a nursing program at that point. And so I was going to go out and do it at that time, kind of a reward for myself.
we had a little technical communication problem here, but anyway, I want to thank you so very much for spending your time to tell us. And
Been my pleasure, Bishop. I enjoy it.
I tell you what, it might make some people feel like they need to bolster their endurance for a lot of other things.
Right. Well, I can tell you this, and I know I said this on the first Thoughts Roundup that we did, but I've preached a lot of messages as a result of that experience. Just so many different facets of the climb, and then also coming down and just mountaintop experiences. There's just a lot of things that you can derive from that. So
well, thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed it.
We'll see you again on